So good evening, guys. I know this page is named Cricket Caviar, but today I want to discuss something really significant in the history of the sports. That is, I have been a big fan of Nadal and seeing him win his 21st Grand Slam and finally being in at the top of the ladder and above Federer, uh, which he's been trying to do since last 17 years. And there have been Federer is obviously I give a lot of credit to Federer the way he plays his stroke making. It's just at another level, but Nadal is a different kind of player, and many still don't accept him as one of the greatest. Well, he has proven that he has now more Grand Slams than anyone, including Djokovic, who I feel is also a better player than Nadal and also Federer, maybe. But what Nadal does is something special. He has his great determination. He fights for every point. He can compartmentalize each point in a very efficient way and fighting for every point. And that's what made this comeback amazing comeback. He was two sets down and totally down and out. And in the third set, when he was serving at 2-3 to level it up to 3-3, actually he was 0-40, nil 40, and Medvedev had three break points. Now Medvedev, he's a champion of a player. He is born in Moscow, and he's a Russian. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone. Uh, he's a champion player, and he's a very introverted person who doesn't like to, he has his own personality, which is very unique for the sport of tennis. And I mean, both are just two good champions. But what transpired today in Melbourne Park was something unforgettable. So two sets and almost three break points down, Nadal comes out of nowhere and starts dominating Medvedev. And I mean, Medvedev was just had to put the hammer on the nail, and the coffin would have been sealed. But Nadal just kept, pushing the coffin lid up and up, and finally he burst through the coffin and he buried Medvedev back into the coffin. So it was that kind of a crazy match, and I've never seen a Grand Slam final like this. I have seen a lot of Grand Slam finals, 5 hour 52 minutes between Djokovic and Nadal. And Australian Open has been a painful memory for Nadal since he won in 2009 in an emotional roller coaster match. He has faced painful losses, either because of injury or he has come so close. Like in 2017 against Federer, he was a breakup there as well. And it was just in his grasp, and it just slipped from his grasp. And it looked like it will happen again when he got broken again in the fifth set. But thankfully, he was able to seal the break again. And so we'll do a little bit of analysis of this match, because I really feel this is one of the greatest match you'll ever see. So let's get down to that. And about that. So starting from the beginning, so this is when Nadal won in Australian Open in 2009. But since then, he it's like an unrequited love. Nadal has never been able to, get the Australian Open title, and there has been always question marks. People have deemed him as a clay courter because he has won so many titles at Roland Garros, 13 French Open titles. So there have been always question marks whether he is an all-court champion, although he has won Wimbledon 2 times and he has won US Open 4 times. But on the fast, hard courts of Melbourne, he is, you can say, many people call it a fluke that he won in 2009. But, any winning any Grand Slam is not a fluke, because you have to win 7 matches to reach 6 matches to reach the final, and you have to win the final against one of the best players. So it was not a fluke, but it was only once, and he needed to win it twice just to prove it to his critics, to his haters, that he's greatest of all time. He is the GOAT. So this is that image where Federer cried, and it started the Fedal relationship. which has grown stronger, and both have a lot of respect for each other. Uh, I mean, both are equally loved by all the fans. Federer is great stroke maker, and I really love him. But I love watching Nadal more. I just love Nadal since 2005. He starts as an underdog. Nadal starts as an underdog in every match. That's the best thing about him, and he somehow does it again and again and again. So these are the four finals that Nadal lost, and the bottom left corner 5 hour 52 final, 5 hour 52 minutes in 2012, which ended at 8 p.m. in Indian Standard Time, starting at 2 p.m. It was a really painful battle, and both the players could not stand after the match. He lost to Stanislas Wawrinka when I thought he will finally get the double Grand Slam. He will get his second Australian Open. But Stanislas was too good on the day, and Nadal was suffering from some injuries. By his own admission, Nadal has been a bit unlucky when it comes to Australian Open. Federer in 2007, as I said, he was break up in the fifth set, but could not convert. In 2019, he got a drubbing from Djokovic. So these are the four final losses for Nadal. And before the tournament started, Djokovic was deported because of not getting vaccinated. I don't want to take much more time, but that obviously played a significant part, because Djokovic just not being in the tournament would have given a morale boost for Nadal, who was, coming from a very from injury. He had a surgery on his foot, and a foot injury is something which is very difficult to rehabilitate. So now I want to talk a bit about Daniil Medvedev. He's an amazing player, one of the best backhands in the circuit, and he's one of the players who depends more on the backhand than his forehand. So he has some issues with the crowd. He has had some issues with his opponents. He's very temperamental. He's his own worst enemy sometimes, and that is Daniel Medvedev. The crowd hates him. Some people love him. He's a very different kind of a character. Very He speaks very honestly and from his heart, and he's a jam. But he has had some issues with cramps. He gets a lot of cramps, and in the long five setters he suffers, especially in the quarterfinals against Felix Auger Aliassime, as well as in the but he is the US Open champion. He's the current number 2 player in the world. He has done great in 2021, winning Paris and a lot of other tournaments, winning the ATP finals also. And uh, I mean, he's just incredible to watch. He has great serve. He returns very well. He has a great backhand. His forehand is I feel, the only weakness in his game. Nadal was coming out of nowhere in this tournament. He was his foot was injured in July. He could not play Wimbledon and US Open, and then he got COVID in December, and he was in isolation for around 2 3 weeks, not able to practice, coming into this tournament with very little practice. And Melbourne is a very hot place in January, and the temperatures start rising. And Nadal was having a few problems, like we saw. He was really struggling in some of the matches. So the strengths of these players are, I think, except for the forehand, everything is Medvedev is better in all respects. If you see, he has the record in 2021 of breaking the most number of service games. That means Medvedev really returns well. If you see the photo at the bottom, this is his return position. It's very deep. It's almost 6 meters away from the baseline, and he returns deep. He negates the fast serve, the spin serve, and is able to get the ball back, make the server play the extra ball, even if it's a good serve. So that's really Medvedev's strengths. And also, he has had the most number of aces in this tournament by any player. So 117 aces by Medvedev. In today's match, he had 22 aces. So aces are your direct serving points. And he had almost 69% first serves in, and 69% points won on the first serve, compared to 62% and 67% for Nadal. So that is about Medvedev. One of the unique things about Medvedev's game is 57% of the shots are played from the backhand, which is really an amazing stat, because normally all the players are forehand dominated and they really want to use forehand as their main weapon. That's the main weapon in the arsenal, apart from the serve. But this guy is unique in the way he almost swings the racket like a sword when he's playing the backhand. And it is so beautiful to watch. He can hit the ball at will, cross court or down the line. And those shots are very precise. He can hit the corners. The baseline is just amazing. And one of the very unique things about Medvedev is he actually runs around the forehand to hit the backhand sometimes. Normally, players will run around the backhand to hit the forehand, but he runs around the forehand to hit the backhand. Nadal is quite the opposite. 62% of his shots are from the forehand side. And what happened, like breaking down the game now? So if you see from the first set itself, Medvedev was serving well and he was playing his backhand beautifully. So Nadal did not carry his serving rhythm from the quarterfinals or semifinals into the final, because he was serving well throughout the tournament, but not in the finals. So Nadal's serve dropped off in the finals badly, and he was not able to land those first serves to trouble Medvedev. And even if when he was getting those first serves, and he was not necessarily winning the points. So Medvedev served well. And if you see, these are the match numbers. If you see the first and second set stats, these are going to be much, much higher for Medvedev. So Nadal, what he changed up in the third set. The third set was very crucial, and Nadal had no other option but to win it. And what he did was he started going to Medvedev's forehand, which is actually his weakness. Um, his backhand is actually his strength. So he went to his forehand more, and he increased his forehand speed by 20 kilometers per hour. So his average forehand speed for Nadal was 120 kilometers per hour, and it rose up to 140 kilometers per hour. And one other striking feature of this match was Nadal was actually expected to dominate the rallies, but any point which had 9+ shots were dominated by Medvedev, and Medvedev was even dominating the shorter points. It was Nadal was only dominating those points which were like 5 shots to 7 shots. So the mid rallies he was able to dominate, but the higher the most scoring rallies he was not able to dominate, which he normally does. So these were Medvedev's matches. Medvedev had some tough matches like against Nick Kyrgios, where all the drama started, because the crowd actually started booing him and giving him very negative reception. He had a match against Felix Auger-Aliassime, the Canadian player, where he was struggling physically and he had issues of cramps, again, which he had also in the US Open final against Djokovic, where he won in straight sets, but still he was having that issue of cramps. That's a problem that has been a disadvantage for Medvedev in these long matches. And if you see against Tsitsipas, he had a big altercation with the referee, because he felt that Tsitsipas was getting on-court coaching, which is not illegal in tennis. Tsitsipas was getting on-court coaching from his father, and Medvedev actually complained to the umpire several times about this, and he wanted the umpire to take penalizing action towards Tsitsipas, but that did not happen. So these were the matches from Medvedev in the tournament. So what happens in the fourth set again is that the same thing what happened against Felix Auger-Aliassime. He started struggling physically, and then he tries to shorten the points. So how do you shorten the points in tennis? You start playing drop shots. You bring that end game closer and you start playing drop shots. You try to serve and volley, and this really played into the hands of Nadal, because he started hitting those passing shots Whenever Medvedev was coming to the net, he started hitting those passing shots, which he's really good at. And the physicality of this match really took a toll. It was a 5 hour, 24 minutes match. And even though Medvedev won 189 points, which is 7 points more than Rafa, Nadal, on the other hand, a pretty easy outing. He was serving well throughout the tournament, except for the final. The only issue he had was with Denis Shapovalov, which went to a 5 sets. And Nadal, since he has come from COVID and from surgery, he had some physical issues in that match. And Shapovalov was also complaining to the umpire that Nadal is taking too many medical timeouts. And that was played in the morning, and Melbourne was burning. It was almost 36 degrees, and Nadal was really struggling in that match. But since then, it has been smooth sailing until the finals. So what happens is Medvedev starts really well and gets and Nadal is down 0-2. So he's 2 sets down. Now, what is the record of Nadal when he's 2 sets down is not that great. The only 3 times when Nadal came back from 2 sets down is in 2005, 6, and 7. It was against another Russian in 2007. And since then, since 2007, he has actually lost 13 matches whenever he has been 2-0 down. So a player like Nadal normally does not get 2-0 down, but there have been 13 matches since 2007 where he has been 0-2 down, and he has lost all of them. So this when he used to come back from 0-2, he was quite young, and he had a lot of court coverage, lot of legs. That's usually Nadal's style, covering the court. So now what does this achievement mean for Nadal is, I mean, he's in the pantheon of greats. He can be legitimately called the greatest of all time, and not just a clay cooter, because he has won all the titles 2 times. And even Federer has not done that. Only Djokovic has done that in the Open era, and he's won 21 Grand Slams now. So there is no debate. If someone says, like, there is always a debate, but it is an undisputed fact that he has won most number of Grand Slams. And the most elusive one, the Australian Open, where he had so many painful memories, so many heartbreaks. And that was really the one missing in his cabinet, I felt, to complete the set. And this Grand Slam has really ensured that, now Nadal is a double champion of every Grand Slam, and he cannot, and nobody can tell him that he is a clay courter, because he has achieved in the fastest court in Melbourne. He has achieved that in the bouncier court in New York. So he has done it all, and hats off to Nadal for this comeback. Really reinvigorated my interest in tennis again. So tennis is so much like life, and this live sports is not unscripted, and that's why it's so good. So see you guys.